So, Sierra Leone.
11 years of civil war killed at least 50,000 people and forced 500,000 from their homes.
Diamonds, right?
Rebel fighters enslaved locals to dig for so-called blood diamonds.
Natural disasters.
We've just been to the site where the mudslide happened on Monday.
The number of the missing is still unknown.
A crowd of people had gathered near a fuel tanker that had been involved in a collision. A bus full of people nearby was completely burned.
Health crisis.
Go to the deadly Ebola outbreak.
The world is losing the fight against Ebola.
Rape and gender-based violence.
5-year-old Khadija Soko was raped and killed in Sierra Leone in June.
On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I therefore declare rape and sexual violence as national emergency.
What if I told you there is a different Sierra Leone than what the media has led us to believe? This is Sierra Leone.
Good morning. It is day 15 of the 520-mile walk, and this morning we are in a very small village that I do not even know the name of. Last night our truck broke down, the clutch went out, and we had to stay in this village. But now that the sun is up, you can tell it is absolutely beautiful. There's about 5 houses in the entire village, and the entire village is surrounded by mountains, and you can just tell it's a very nice community. It was very cool when we woke up. All of my friends thought it was very cold because they're used to warm temperatures, but for me, it was perfect. And being in these communities, I always feel like people are truly just living life off of the land and very happy. But this morning we are heading down to the truck to fix it and hopefully get on our way this afternoon. So I'll check back in when we get to the truck.
Hi, Mr. Abdullah.
Turn it towards you.
Yeah, I read it.
So we are back in the village. We just had some lunch, and Kenny Toma just showed up with the clutch.
Right, yeah, look at it.
I had no idea that's what it looks like, but that's really interesting. Here's the other part.
This is the Box Mountain.
Yeah, that looks completely foreign to me. Again, I know nothing about cars, but the good news is we got the clutch out, which means that then probably we can put another one in. The only issue though is the car we have is a Ford, which is an American car, and it's kind of difficult to get the exact parts and tools that we need to replace it. So it might take a day or two, so we might be in this village for another day or two, which it is what it is. Eventually we'll get back on the road and keep pushing along. Good evening. So we have some updates about how we are going to continue forward with the 520-mile walk. Half of the team headed out today back to Koidu, where we were a few days ago, to get a new clutch and a couple other supplies for the truck. It looks like it's still going to take possibly a day, maybe even 2, to get the truck fixed and running. And so we had a discussion as a team today. How are we going to continue without being held back, staying in this village for multiple days? And we had reached an agreement with the city of Kabbalah, which is still about 100+ miles away, that we were going to be there on Friday. And so the agreement that we reached as a team today is that me, Mock, and John will take off in the morning, just the 3 of us, and head 30 miles tomorrow, the next day, the day after, and Friday to reach Kabbalah by Friday. And Hindela will stay back with the team, waiting for the truck to get fixed, primarily because Hindela is the one that runs finances for our team and is in control of the money, so it makes sense for him to stay back. Once the truck is fixed, he will come on a motorbike and catch up with us. But we decided as a team it was important for one of us or two of us or at least a few of us to do the entire 520-mile walk. And ultimately that is what I came here to do, is walk 520 miles and push this message about the issue of rape and sexual violence here in Sierra Leone and across the world as much as I could during this walk. So I'm glad that we were able to reach some kind of a compromise as a team of how we were going to continue forward on into the next day. So now we are just relaxing and packing everything up, and tomorrow we will be heading out at 3 a.m. for about 21 miles in the morning, and then we will rest and continue on for another 10 miles in the evening. The next 4 days are going to be extremely tough physically as well as mentally, but I think by reaching Kabbalah on Friday, we will set ourselves on a good path to continue hitting the goal of finishing this walk by the date that we have set. So with that said, I will check back in with you guys tomorrow morning when we start the walk. Good morning. It is day 16 of the 520-mile walk. This morning it is about 2:50 a.m. so it's very early in the morning. The team is right behind me, getting ready, packing everything up. Many of us are still tired, and I am shocked I'm going to say this, but honestly it is cold. The part of the country we are in right now is way far north up in the mountains, and this part of the country does at night get a little chilly. The rest of the team coming from the south, where most of them live, are extremely cold, and I myself am even a little chilly. I slept good last night, but my stomach is definitely in a little pain. Took a few trips to the bathroom overnight. We will be walking for a couple hours in the dark, but I'm hoping once our bodies get moving, everything will warm up and we will feel good. We are looking to head between 25 and 30 miles today, so it's going to be a long day of walking, but I'm glad we are getting a good start here early in the morning. So this is a classroom. This is an entire school in this village. I'm kind of at a loss for words because this is unreal. I mean, there's a classroom right there. This is a classroom, and that's maybe a classroom, but I don't know. I mean, this is what happens when people live in very severe poverty and there's no money for education. I'm not really sure how well students learn in those conditions. The blackboard, as you saw, was not even a blackboard. It was kind of in pieces. So I don't know. That's kind of tough to see. But you know, on the flip side, it's always very impressive to me, the things I see in this country and the resiliency that all of the people here have, given the conditions that they have. You know, obviously that is not what I was raised to know as a typical school, and maybe a lot of us throughout the world, especially us in the West, we don't know that as a typical school. But here in Sierra Leone, that is what they have, and they make the most out of what they have, which, you know, we talk about the idea of resiliency, and that is extremely resilient to live in those types of conditions but still have a drive and dedication to receive an education amid living in severe poverty. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that, because we've seen a couple schools as we've walked that look very similar, but this one I had the opportunity to get up close to, so it's just very interesting. But we're going to continue on our way. We just stopped to have some breakfast. So far today we are about 17.5 miles into our trek. Earlier this morning I was feeling very sick. I believe I have food poisoning. I woke up this morning at about 1:30 a.m. and had to go to the bathroom, and honestly have had to go to the bathroom about 9 times since then. So not an ideal situation, especially since we've already walked 17.5 miles, but when we came here to eat breakfast, I was able to put food into my stomach and I feel okay now. The sun is getting really hot, so we're gonna have to continue hydrating, but we are looking to push a couple more miles this morning, rest for a couple hours, and then continue pushing on this evening. And I do believe we are gonna push past 30 miles today, which is going to be very crazy, but I think it is what we need to do to reach Kabbalah by Friday. Good afternoon. We stopped in a village and rested for a few hours, got a little bit of sleep. I'm still feeling, honestly, like I could be sick at any moment, which is not good. So I think once we get going on the road, I'll probably pull off into the bush and use the bathroom and hopefully feel better into the evening. We've been asking a lot of locals how far we need to go to get to the town that we're looking to be at tonight, and we keep hearing different things from 7 miles to 14 miles. I always assume on the higher end of things, so I do believe that we will be walking probably another 12 to 14 miles this afternoon and into the evening. We still have yet to hear anything from the people and our team back at the site where we were earlier today, where the truck is. Again, there's no service there, so it's difficult to know whether or not any progress has been made on the truck, or if they'll be on their way anytime soon, or if they'll need to stay another day. But we're gonna get back on the road and hopefully things will work themselves out. So we are walking through a bigger village now, and we began to figure out as we walked through this northern part, it is a different language than from the south. My friends all speak Mendi. We're not sure of the language that they speak up here, but the...
Hey! Look at this guy! Look at this guy! We drag you! We drag you guys! We drag you guys! What do you say?
We learned.
God! We are fighting the 30 miles today! 30 miles!
Jesus. We made it a ways, didn't we?
You guys, we came asking everywhere we went.
Like, where the hell are they?
Yeah, they said they moved. You know, a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
They are gone.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, unfortunately, the car is not yet.
Okay.
We don't fix everything.
So we're in a bigger village now, and my friends who I'm walking with are of the Mendi tribe, and the word for white person in Mendi is Pumwi, which a lot of my friends call me. It's what people know me by. But as we're walking through the north, there is a different language here and a different culture, and we quickly realized that all the kids were calling me Babu, which we eventually realized means white man. So now we're joking that there is no more Pumwi, and I am now a Babu. And it's just cracking all of us up. As you just saw behind me, Hindelo has made it to us. He said that they fixed the gears in the car and fixed the clutch, but when they had put it into gear, nothing would happen. Again, I don't know nothing about cars, but what I know is that the truck is not moving. So he brought all my tent stuff and he's following us to our spot, but he's pretty impressed with how far we've gotten today because we are about 25, 26 miles in, but we're gonna continue on our way and get some food here pretty shortly. So we are back on the road and I am feeling much better. I had some food and had a lot of water, which have really helped. And we are, I think, about 6 or 7 miles out of the next town. So by the time we get there, it'll be dark. But It's very nice that Hindelo did come. He has my tent, so you know, it will be nice that I will be able to sleep in a tent tonight, and I think the mattresses are on their way. And you know, tomorrow we will push again for another 30 miles, which will be insane. But once we get to Kabla on Friday, it will all be worth it, and I know that the sickness I'm feeling now is only temporary, and I will feel good in just a couple of days. So we're gonna continue pushing on. So as it begins to get dark out, I just wanted to check in again and kind of recap today. In my opinion, you know, today was one of the harder days of the entire walk. I woke up at 1:30 this morning, which feels like days ago, and had food poisoning that continued on really throughout the morning until about 11 or noon. But yet we're still walking as the sun is setting, and so far we've done just about 30 miles. I believe we'll push right past that, between 30 and 35. So for me personally, today has been an incredible day. You know, amid having the sickness, you know, it was a true test of what I was capable of, and I proved to myself I was capable of more than I thought, especially in the moment of, you know, doubt and feeling very ill and very weak. It's incredible the things that your body can do if you continue to push past, you know, what your mind at first will tell you. But, you know, I'm just very proud of myself today for pushing past so many different boundaries that were set for me physically and mentally. And I'm just looking forward to tomorrow and the rest of the trip, and harnessing this new motivation that I've gained from today and putting that forward into the days to come. So I will check back in once we get to the town that we're staying.